Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and this today may be the single most exciting day in my entire life as far as dinosaur collecting goes, because I just got the single greatest lot of figures that I've ever purchased in my entire life. May not be what everybody thinks would be the best lot that I've scored on my channel, because there was that one really good Jurassic Park lot that I got a while back for like 75 bucks, and this lot specifically I had to pay quite a bit more. I did pay about 200 bucks for this lot, which is a lot more than I would normally expect to pay for a lot of figures, but this lot is just unbelievable and easily worth way more than that price tag. You'll see at some point that there's a figure in here that is worth pretty much the $200 price tag alone. So one figure in here would pay for the entire box basically, which is crazy. And there's so many figures in this box that I have been hunting for years and years, and honestly, I never thought in a million years I would own them, just because there's just so many that are so expensive that are just so hard to find. But luckily, thankfully, I found this seller on the Facebook marketplace that had a listing for a bunch of old dinosaur figures, and I jumped on it. This lot is so insanely large, I may actually end up having to do 2 parts to this video. I don't really know. It'll depend on how fast we can fly through these figures. Again, just like every other video like this, if you see figures in here that you would like reviewed on the channel, let me know and I will be sure to review them for you at some point, because there honestly is a ton of review material in here. Stuff I've never owned. Some things I have, but a lot that I haven't. So the very first thing that I do want to bring in is the Carnegie Oviraptor. This one is the one that is nesting. It's a really nice looking, very large figure. I do actually have one of these already, but this one is with the tag and honestly in perfect condition. So I definitely really love this figure. I think overall it's a beautiful looking figure, and I'm psyched to have another one in even better shape than my previous one. Again, like I said, I'm probably going to fly through these a bit, try to go a little bit quicker than I normally would. There's also the Carnegie Kronosaurus. So another very long discontinued figure. It is another one that I did actually have already, but still fun to add another one to my collection. Maybe something I might repaint in the future, but I doubt it, just because it does look really nice the way it does. So very cool as well. Then I have a few random figures here that I actually don't know anything about. There's a Stegosaurus, a very old school looking Stegosaurus. He does have part of his tail missing, but it actually broke off in here, so I'm going to glue that back on. There is also a Dimetrodon, which actually looks really quite cool. Super old school looking Dimetrodon, and they almost feel like they're like a candle, like they're made of the same material a candle would be. And then you've got an Apatosaurus as well, and there is actually a Tyrannosaurus Rex also, but I took the Tyrannosaurus Rex out and I have him in a separate spot because his foot was broken off, and I'm going to glue it on, and I forgot to throw them back in the box before I brought this back over here. But they are really cool figures, and I don't know anything about them, so if any of you guys out there are familiar with these, definitely let me know, as I'd like to learn about them. They are really decent looking figures for being really old, and honestly just a ton of fun with that incredibly vintage feel. So if you do know anything about these, please let me know in the comments, as I would love to know what they are. Then we've got an old Safari Ltd Mosasaurus, a nice green looking version. I do already have him as well, but it's still fun to add another one to the collection. Then we've got the old Carnegie collection Styracosaurus, which is one of my favorite Carnegie figures ever. I think it really is a beautiful looking figure, obviously a bit outdated now, but still really nicely sculpted and beautifully painted. I actually have a number of these already, but I would never say no to another one, because they really are a beautiful looking Styracosaurus. And this one has tags on it, which is really cool as well. We've also got a shark in here. It's a little beat up on the underside, but honestly, I don't know anything about this. I don't know who makes it or where it came from or anything like that. So again, if any of you have any type of insight as to what this is or where it came from, definitely let me know in the comments, as again, some of these figures I'm unfamiliar with and I would love to learn a little bit about them. We've also got the Carnegie Triceratops, once again with the tag on, so that's always really cool. Another figure that, like I have with a lot of these I already have it, and I don't really mind having another, especially with the tag on. Gives it a very cool nostalgia feel, especially for something that's been discontinued as long as this is. It's really cool to be able to find them with tags on them still. And we've got a couple of these Carnegie Dilophosaurus, not the most appealing Dilophosaurus figures ever, but they were still fun for their time. We've got both versions. I don't remember quite how many there were, if there was just 2, or if there were more, but we do have both of them here, and they are actually in really, really nice shape. There doesn't appear to be any damage, and honestly, pretty much no paint chipped off of them or anything, so awesome to have these guys. I already had 1, maybe 2 of them. I don't remember if I had both or not, but regardless, I know that the ones that I did have were not in near as nice shape as these 2 are. Then there's this random little dragon guy. Don't really know anything about him, but he's still pretty fun. Definitely like this weird little dragonish guy, very old school. I stood up now just because I feel like you can probably get a better view of them up here, and down there they were a little bit lighted out, I guess I could say. The lights are a little too bright. You can't see them as good as you can up here. So we'll take a look at the rest up here. You can see the Deltadromeus. This is another Carnegie collection figure, so I really, really like this figure as well. Very obscure species. You don't see it figures very often, and this one is in perfect shape with the tags also. And we've got a Carnegie collection Pachycephalosaurus, also in really beautiful shape for sure. Really nicely well kept and taken care of, because there honestly doesn't look to be any type of paint chips or anything anywhere on him. He looks great overall. Then here is a figure that I have wanted for a very long time. This is the Invicta Troodon, and it's a very hard figure to find. You don't see it come around too often, at least not at a cheap price, so I was really excited to open the box and find this guy in here. The sculpts on some of these Invicta figures, it's just unbelievable, and this is definitely really nice, one that I was super excited to find in here. Then we've got an Invicta Stegosaurus, another one that is really beautifully sculpted and also very hard to find, that I was really excited about finding in here. Anytime I get an Invicta figure, I am psyched. And speaking of Invicta, we've got the Pliosaurus. Look how beautiful the head sculpt is of this. Man, these figures were so well done for when they were made, and this is another one that I did not have, and another one that I was beyond excited to find in this box. Really awesome looking figure. Then we've got an old Carnegie collection Tyrannosaurus Rex, which you can see that this guy does have a few areas where he's a little beat up, but for the most part he's in fairly decent shape considering when he was made. He's a very old figure, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of abuse on the figure and some paint chips and everything. Not really the most appealing figure, but he has such a cool old school feel that I can't help but love it. Another one that I did not have previously. Then we've got a beautiful old school Carnegie Iguanodon, another figure that I was unable to acquire previously, but I now have in my collection. Beautiful paint application on this one as well. So many really nice figures that have been long discontinued. It's really sad to see things like this, but awesome to now have them in my collection and know that I don't have to worry about searching them out anymore in the future. Then we've got the infamous Invicta Blue Whale, and we don't only have one blue whale, there was 2, so we've got 2 blue whales from the Invicta line, which these were in with the dinosaurs, I believe, in one of the sets that were released, so it's really cool to have these guys, even though I'm not exactly a whale collector, but being that they have a place in the history of the dinosaur line with the dinosaur figures of Invicta, and they do complete the collection as far as making sure that I have this in the future, it's awesome to have those as well. Then we have this old school Carnegie Stegosaurus. Really cool looking as well. He's got that beautiful old school, very vintage vibe to him. Nice dark paint scheme. He's really, really dusty, as this guy that I bought this from, I don't think ever really moved them around, so he's got to get cleaned, that's for sure. But I still like that figure. I did not have that color scheme of that before. And we've also got this old school Carnegie Triceratops, which I don't know if this is how the paint looked on this one initially, or if maybe a lot of the paint has been rubbed off. I don't really have a clue. I feel like if the paint was rubbed off, the eyes maybe wouldn't look quite as nice as they do. But regardless, I don't think I had this figure previously. I know I didn't have it with this appearance, so another win, another addition to my collection that I didn't have previously. Then we've got this guy, and I'm pretty sure This is a Dino Rider's Pachycephalosaurus, but I'm not 100% positive. The eyes kind of give it away, and the underside of somewhere there, it does say that it's made by Tycho, which is who made the Dino Riders collection. I'm not super familiar with the Dino Riders figures, but I am pretty sure that that's what this is. Really nicely sculpted figure overall for its age. I really do quite like this guy as well. Beautiful scaling everywhere. So another very cool figure. I'm slowly getting these Dino Riders figures one by one. Then we have this old Pteranodon, the old Carnegie Triceratops. He's got kind of a broken neck thing going on, but other than the broken neck thing going on, his paint and everything still appears to be in decent shape. I'll probably try to get the neck straightened out. I don't think that's how it came, although I could be wrong. Maybe it is how it came. I don't know. But I will try to straighten the neck out. If not, he does look pretty wretched. Then we have the super old school Carnegie collection Protoceratops with the nest, and you've got a little baby over here. I love this figure. I've really wanted one for a very long time, but have been unable to acquire one, so now I'm super happy to have it in my collection. Again, a lot of the people out there nowadays seem to only want to go for newer figures like Rebor and Nanmu and Papo and anything that's new that's coming out, but there is just a world of old school figures out there just waiting for you to enjoy and discover, and hopefully this video will show you that when you see just how many cool figures I got in this set and what's out there that you can in fact search out and acquire if you do try. Another old school Carnegie Stegosaurus, a bit more appealing as far as the paint scheme goes. This one looks really nice and definitely is in great shape overall as far as the paint goes. I don't really see any paint chips or anything anywhere. Really nice looking Stegosaurus. Very old again, very vintage. Then we've got another Invicta Tyrannosaurus Rex. Anytime I can add another one of these to my collection, it's a good day, although I already have about 2 or 3 of them. I think this is the third actually. One I did paint, so now I've got 2 that are still original. Again, there is actually a painted version by Invicta out there as well, which I don't have. I just have these solid color ones. And here's a figure that is super rare that I honestly never thought that I would be able to buy, and this figure alone can almost pay for the box if I were to sell it, which I would never do, but if I were to buy it, I would still have to pay a ton of money to get it. This is the Invicta Lambeosaurus. It looks like maybe it needs to be cleaned up a little bit just because it's so dusty, but other than that, it looks like it's in great shape. And this is one of the figures that in this lot caught my attention right away because I've kind of been on the hunt for it for a while now, but really a lot recently, just trying relentlessly to get a hold of this because it's beautiful, and trust me when I tell you, in person the images online don't do it justice. It is fantastic looking. Then we've got the Invicta Woolly Mammoth. I do believe that's who this guy is. Another figure that I don't think I had previously. I am really excited now to have it. I'm intrigued that the tusks are painted because I don't really have any Invicta figures previously that have paint on them like that. I don't know if all of them were like this, or if maybe this is one of the painted versions. I have no idea. So anybody familiar with the Invicta collection, let me know in the comments if they were all like this with the tusks painted, or if maybe it was just specific ones, because I really don't know. Then we have this, and this is the Stegosaurus by Invicta, and you can take note right away to the fact that the tail is chewed up, so that's a little bit sad. I did not have this figure previously, however, I do know that there is another one in here that I did see that I do believe is in better shape than him, so we will get to him eventually. Here is the old Carnegie Carnotaurus, so of course now we're speaking my language when it comes to figures. We've got a Carno, and that's never a bad thing ever. Even if he is really goofy looking, he's still in pretty darn good shape. We also got the Battat Styracosaurus. This figure is very hard to find, very expensive to find, and I really think it is fantastic looking. I don't have very many of the original Battats prior to this box, so I didn't know just how beautiful they look in person, but man, this one is so nice I almost want to review it even if nobody wants to see it, because it is beautiful looking. Then here is the Gallimimus, I believe. I think that's the Battat Gallimimus. I'm not sure if that's a Gallimimus, Scruthiomimus, I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure it's the Gallimimus. I'm not too familiar with each and every one of the Battat figures because I wasn't, prior to this, searching them out too much. I did search for them every once in a while, but I knew that they were almost always too expensive for me to pick up. so I didn't search this one relentlessly. However, I am beyond happy now to have it in my collection, and it is, again, just like the Styracosaurus, beautiful in person, way better than I had ever realized it would be, and had I known they were so nice, I would have been searching like crazy for these before. Then we've got an old school Carnegie Smilodon, very nice looking figure as well. Again, nothing like what you would see nowadays from Safari Ltd, but their old Carnegie line was really cool, and for the time, it's a beautiful looking figure. Then we have the Invicta Plesiosaurus. This guy, unfortunately, does have some damage. There's a little area of damage, and it looks kind of like the face might be chewed up a little bit there. Might be tough to see on camera, but I do have this guy previously, so I'm not too upset about him showing up with some damage on him. Then we've got this Pteranodon, and I don't really know exactly what this is. I don't know if this is an Invicta figure, because he kind of looks like he might be, but I don't think so. You can maybe see right here. No, it's got some information about him right there. Oh yes, yeah, I think he is an Invicta figure, so that's cool. I actually did not even know that they had a Pteranodon. He's not in perfect shape, but he's not in bad shape either, so that's really cool. Then we have, I believe, the Invicta Barosaurus, which is another figure that I did not have previously, and I do believe it's a very rare figure to find, very hard to find, so it's one that I didn't really search out too much because, again, I figured the odds of me ever actually getting a hold of one were pretty slim, and that is beautiful in person as well. And then, I'm going to end the video with this guy and then do the second half of the box in the next video because I don't want this video to go forever, but there is just a ton of figures in here. This is a Carnegie Collection Maiasaura, and you can see it's got a nest and everything under there. Very cool nesting scene from the Carnegie Collection, and a beautiful vintage old school figure. Really, really nice looking. Really reminds me of the old dinosaur film Maya, A Dinosaur Grows, which is really awesome because that was something I watched a lot when I was a child. So, awesome figure. Again, tons of awesome figures so far, and we're going to keep on going in the next video. We just don't want this one to get too long. So, until the next video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of any future videos. Make sure you watch part 2, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.